Hello, fellow duelists. This is Shadow of the Moon, and guess who's back? Back again. Shadow's back. Tell a friend. I always wanted to do that. I always thought that was kind of cheesy and corny, but so you're probably wondering where the hell I've been. I just kind of had to take a break physically from Yu-Gi-Oh. I was still playing Master Duel. I was still kind of like semi-active on YouTube. And I've been playing like game act like Master Duel, Go Pro and everything. But in terms of uploading videos, it was just getting hectic for me because I work, so and I've got a family, so sometimes it gets pretty busy. And no, I did not forget about everybody. I still have been updating all my decks. So I think from here on out, I'm going to focus primarily on Blackwings, because I do have all my other decks, but I noticed that Blackwing seems to be a very popular deck, and it's my favorite, so I'm going to be focusing more on that, and unboxings probably with the misses, which I do have a rarity collection that I'm going to be opening up next week, and I will be posting that. So finally, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and a lot has changed in this deck, and I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be so fun. First off, this is my new Blackwing deck. It's probably my most favorite one, and also the best one, I feel like, in my opinion, just in my opinion, and that is the King Calamity Blackwings. There's different ways to play Blackwings. You can play the pure synchro build, which is basically kind of like what this is. There is the Calyuga build, and then there's like Bistio Blackwings, and now even Horus Blackwings. There's Blackwings where you can have the like unbreakable Former Master. There's like the little fun gimmicky Blackwings that have the Beazle, and then like Blackwing Dragon, Assault Blackwing Dragon constantly doing 700 damage to you. But I love this deck because it is very, very complex, and there's different ways to play with the deck, and I'm actually going to be showing you. So let's go without any further ado. Finally, I'm so glad to say that. Let's get into the deck profile. So first off, 3 copies of the new Rarity Collection 25th Anniversary Simoon the Poison Wind. These guys look beautiful. I love them. They shine. They're actually making the camera glare up, I think, especially on the bottom because of all the greatness. And so basically, Blackwing Simoon, if you don't know what it does, you banish, reveal this card, banish a Blackwing face up, and then play Black Whirlwind directly from the deck. And then from there, you're going to normal summon its effect, which is going to allow you to search for your Blackwings and using Black Whirlwind's effect. Also, this deck has 2 different routes. It's the dark route, which if you get locked into Simoon, you can still end on King Calamity. And there's also the non-dark route, which has Crimson Dragon in it if you draw into Sudri and like Vata, and you just need Shamal, because those 3 are the key pieces of that route. But this is the dark route, which would be if you locked into Simoon, and you can still get King Calamity. And then 3 Sudris. These are all upgraded. These are all secret rares, and Simoon was the 20th anniversary. So Simoon has 2 effects. You contribute tribute a monster to make a token, a level 2 token, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the end of the rest of the turn until Secret Monsters. And also Sudri, when it gets normal summoned, you can add a card that mentions Blackwing Dragon directly from your deck and add it to your hand, which is absolutely just amazing for this deck. And then obviously 3 Shamal. 3 Shamal is really, really good. It allows you to discard this card to play Black Feather Whirlwind directly from your deck, like Black Whirlwind when you have Simoon. And also, when this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it to add a Blackwing card back from your hand, which is very imperative and crucial for this deck. And then you have 3 Vatas. So Vata is amazing because Vata, you can special summon this, control a Blackwing monster, you tribute this, and 2 other monsters that are Blackwings from your deck, send them to the graveyard to special summon a Blackwing Dragon directly from your extra deck. So all these are very crucial. 3 Simoons, 3 Sudris, 3 Shamals, 3 Vatas. Those are all very, very important in this deck. So now we're going to go on to only like the regular copies, not the 3 ofs. Now we're going to go on to the other ones. So obviously 2 Chinook. This is a personal tech choice. If you want to add more Assault Synchrons, you totally can. I have played with Assault Synchrons, but found that if you draw one of these, your whole combo, you cannot go into King Calamity, or it's very, very difficult. You have to go a completely different route. So I added 2 because it's a great hand trap. It's like an effect veiler, and it sends a Blackwing monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, and it negates the monster's effect and also drops it by 700 points. I love running 2. This works so good, especially in Master Duel and even in Go Pro. And then obviously the one Zephyros the Elite. You gotta have Zephyros the Elite because Zephyros is so good. Gale will always be in my deck. And one thing about this deck that originally I was not too keen to was that I felt like I couldn't play with Blackwing Armor Master and Gale in the deck, and it would be, like, you know, actually efficient, because Gale and Blackwing Armor Master are my two favorite Blackwing cards, so I at least wanted to keep those in the deck. Also, in this competitive build, I'm using Baron de Flor instead of the, that's the spot that would be for, Obsidian Tamerhawk Joe, so I do kind of swap between Tamerhawk Joe and when it's more casual, and then Baron if it's a little bit more competitive. So Gale is really good because if you control Blackwing Monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it also cuts the attack and defense. So it's like how Bora used to be. And then the one of, and it's just, it kills me. Konami, come on, it's a common. Everything else in this deck is a rarity bump and maxed rarity, and you have a Martin, which is a common. Come on, get your act together. At least make him a super. All right, and then we're going to have Sharnga. Sharnga is so good because Sharnga, when it's in the graveyard, it actually destroys a face-up card by banishing it. And then you have an Orochi the Squall. Orochi is the key card in this deck. Orochi really makes both of those combos work. That brings in a King Calamity, and is very good because it's easy to use. You send to this graveyard. You're sending this to the graveyard using Boreas Storm's effect, and basically let you go into a Red Hot Dragon, Archfiend Abyss. And then one Assault Synchron. I am running one. If you wanted to add 2 or 3, you could, but because of the ratios that I have in the extra deck, I felt one was a little bit more beneficial and was just probably the best choice, because it, you know, you only do need one in the deck technically. All right, so now for the hand trap. So obviously we are running 3 Ash, because Ash Blossom is one of the best hand traps and one of the easiest and most accessible to get hold of. Basically makes it to where your opponent can't draw the card from the deck, can't add it to the hand, can't send a card from the deck to the graveyard, and can't special summon from the graveyard. And then we're going to be having, because this is probably one of the best hand traps in the format right now, Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler just shuts the monster's effect off during the main phase, your opponent's main phase. And then lastly, I'm running 2 Dimension Shifters. Dimension Shifter just works really well with this deck. It's easy to be searched out using Small World because it's another bridge. And I'm only running 2 because I can only fit 2 in the deck. I would love to have 3, but 2 is the most that I could fit in this deck right now. So I'm just choosing to run the 2. And that's it for the monsters. Now let's move on to the spells and traps. So we have the 3 triple black whirlwinds. Always run triple black whirlwinds in the deck because it makes it to where it special summons monsters from the deck, or adds monsters from the deck to the hand that have lower attack than the monster that you normal summoned using it, and it just works very, very well. It really picks up the pace of the deck and really makes the deck kind of like what it is. And then we have 2 Black Feather Whirlwind. Some people run this at 1, and some people run this at 2. If you want to, that's totally up to you if that works. But personal preference wise and everything, I prefer to run this at 2 because it just works. And there are times where I may end up using 2, or there may be times where one of them gets negated, and then I have this in my hand or something, or I have a Shamal and I can discard Shamal to get a Black Whirlwind and play it, so I can at least still use it. And then, oh my god, look at this. It is 3 Pot of Prosperities. So so this card is from the Megatons, from the 2023 Megatons. I did not, or 2022 Megatons. So this is not from Rarity Collection. This is not from any of the other ones. I actually bought these when they were 16, when they were on sale, because once Rarity Collection got announced and people were finding out that they had different rarities, and Pot of Prosperity was one of them, people were lowering the price. So this card went from $30 easily to $16. So I just bought all 3 of them, had extra cash. So now I think they're about like 8 to 10 now on TCG Player. So I'm really glad. This just really makes the deck work so much better, because it's a free, you know, draw 2 cards if you or search your deck if you banish 3 or 6. Most of the time I only banish 3, but it works really, really well. And if it's a first turn card, you can ignore the doing half the battle damage on the opponent's turn, so that just really helps out a lot. And then 3 Small World, because 3 Small World is very crucial in this deck. This adds combo pieces, and you can search and use for the bridge. For this deck is Dimension Shifter and Assault Synchron, so this works really, really well with that. And then lastly, we've got Twin Shadow. Twin Shadow is amazing and even more popular and even more efficient in this deck, because you play this to bring out a monster from your extra deck. It's by shuffling cards back from your deck to from the graveyard or banish zone, and special summon it, and then that starts when you can start bringing out King Calamity by either using Sorrowcat or you can use Crimson Dragon. So that's going to be it for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. So first off, we've got 2 copies of Assault Dragon. I feel Assault Dragon is actually a very good card. And the great thing about this deck is even if by some chance something gets negated, the most that you can still end on is 2 of these in Red Hot Abyss, which just is still very, very good, and it still actually can be very beneficial because having 3 of these on the field, you're burning your opponent for 1400 for every effect, and then Red Hot can at least negate a face-up card on the field, so that's very, it's very handy. It's really good. And then I've got 2 Blackwing Dragons. This is in here because King Calamity, if you're going using the Dark route, you're using the Sorrowcat route, you do need 2 because you need 1 in the graveyard, and then you need to be able to shuffle 1 back into the deck. Because you're going to be needing to special summon it because that's what's going to equal the levels. And then you've got Omnimaro the Divine Thunder. This is going in from the non-dark route because this is what you're going to be using to summon King Calamity. If you have Crimson Dragon on the field, you're going to target this and you're going to shuffle Crimson Dragon back from the deck and you're going to special summon King Calamity, and that just shuts your opponent off. It's not as good as Calayuga where it destroys the back row. It does not destroy the back row. It just shuts off the effects, any card that's on the field, so they can still play from the graveyard and stuff from the hand, such as like with Calayuga. But I really prefer King Calamity just personally because I love the idea of being able to work really hard and then bring this card out. And I love, the Synchro build, the pure Synchros, because, my favorite series is 5Ds, so I love using pure Synchro decks, and it just is just a lot of fun. And then we have the Blackwing Full Armor Master. This guy is really, really good in this deck. I love because he's indestructible, he's unaffected by cards, and it's just so easy because when people see this, even if he's in defense mode or people just bring it, I've won games specifically with him because when everything else has been off the field, I've at least had him, and they don't know what to do with him. And then obviously the original Blackwing Armor Master, I love this. I will never take this guy out. Like I said before, Obsidian is there for more of a casual play when I'm playing casually, like with my wife or something. I'll throw out Baron because I don't need Baron in that, deck and stuff. But if I'm playing more competitively, like if I'm playing Master Duel or YGO Pro or playing against somebody, I usually tend to put Baron in the main deck because it's a lot more, it's more needed. And Armor Master's I love that I can still bring this out using the dark route. There is a way to bring this guy out, and I will be showing you, because if you have like an extra card in your hand, if you have the 3 pieces, you can search for Gale, have Gale into your hand until near the end of your turn, and then you can special summon using Zephyros' effect, you bounce back Black Feather Whirlwind, you special summon Gale, you go into this guy, and you still have room to go in King Calamity. And then we've got the Nothrum the Starlight, and we've got the Borstorm the Wicked Wind. This is your main trigger now. Borstorm is more of the Calayuga build, but you do still use this, but this is your main trigger. This is probably going to be your second Synchro, your first Synchro summon that you're going to be using in the deck, because you're going to be activating its effect to normal summon Sudri again to search for Twin Shadow. And then we've got Bestial Dissipator. Bestial Dissipator is for the non-dark route and is also a really good card because if your opponent activates a monster effect, you can either shuffle a card back from your graveyard to destroy it, or you can negate it by shuffling a card from their banish zone back to their deck. And then obviously for the negates, Red Hot and then Baron to Floor. So this is going to be mainly for the dark route. This is for the non-dark route. But what I love about Baron in this deck is that Baron is a great grind game card, because if it's the third turn, if it's your second turn, you can go into Baron and you can kind of have like a grind game between him and Red Hot Abyss, and you have like 2 negates on top of whatever else that you have on the field. And then finally, we're going to be having the King Calamity, which is the main part of the deck. You've got King Calamity and Sorrowcat and Crimson Dragon. So Sorrowcat is in there because when Sorrowcat, it has to be Chain Link 1, so when your opponent just normal special summons a monster, they cannot activate effects in order for you to go into King Calamity. So Sorrowcat, you would do this. Sorrowcat would go from that to Blackwing Dragon to Orochi and would bring out King Calamity. And then Crimson Dragon would you would activate Crimson Dragon's effect, target Omnimaro on the non-dark route, and then you would special summon King Calamity for that turn. So it just really, really gives it a good buff, and just all in all, just something really, really good. So, all right, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. It makes me so happy to finally showcase this deck, and I am back. But I'm not going to be posting probably as often, just because busy schedule, and I don't want to get burnout again. and I just prefer uploading Blackwing, the deck profile, because that seems to be a very popular one. I probably will be uploading the new Raid Raptor deck profile when the new cards come out next year, because I'm a big fan of that, and I just think that that's really just great that they are going to be releasing that again. You know, with new support, because Raid Raptors are very sorely needed. And look, I forgot I even had my little Sudri token, so I forgot I had that too. But all right, so that's going to be it for this deck profile. If I do upload any other videos, it's going to be probably my pure synchro build, which is more of the three assault Blackwing Dragons and Red Hot Abyss. And then it's going to be, I'll probably do a test hand. I would love to do a test hand because I want to show you different routes for the deck that you're going to be taking and how to activate for timing. So, all right, that's going to be it for this profile. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching. And I just want to say thank you to everybody that has stuck around for these few months. You guys have been amazing, and also still sending me comments, still posting on my profiles, and it just means a lot to me. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart for, you know, still sticking around and everything. It was more or less just me needing to take a break, but I am back. It just may not be as often, but I will still be posting videos. So yeah, all right, that's going to be it for this profile. You guys, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. You rock. Thank you so much. And with that, see you guys next time. Later.